So I wanted to talk about 3 ways of effectively recovering losses in any market. I'm going to be focusing mainly on the Forex market today. I don't feel like there's enough information out there about losses and recovery of losses when trading. And it's a really difficult thing for people to handle because when they are faced with losses, they're pretty much lost at what to do next. And so this video, I want to talk about effective ways of approaching the market in a different way to potentially recover losses in a respectable amount of time on your trading accounts. So first off, I want to start off by saying you should be using funds you can afford to lose. So if you're using too many funds and you're worried about your losses, you can't sleep at night, that likely means that you're using too high of risk with your trading, and you are worried about losing those funds and that affecting your well-being and your financial life as well. So you should be really paying attention to the funds that you're using in your active trading. Because there's risk to everything. Nothing is perfect. It doesn't matter how good the strategy is, how good the algorithm is. Everything has risk involved. My number one reason is revenge trading and trying to recover losses too quickly. This is my first thing I want to approach because in my business, I talk to a lot of traders on a daily basis. And I find that a lot of traders really are passionate about trying to recover those losses quickly, and that involves revenge trading when you make irrational decisions, trying to recover those losses, and you have emotional tie to your account and those trades, and you end up likely giving yourself more losses on top of the ones that you already suffered. So this is a very important thing, and I see a lot of even pro traders that have been trading for years. Even I have struggles with that at times, especially if the losses are pretty substantial. I've had a 19% loss recently with my Ranger algorithm, and I did some revenge trading, and you still fall into these traps when they happen. And I extended my losses a bit more beyond that 19%. I've since been able to recover that, but it's a good learning lesson that even 16 years later, it's easy to fall into a revenge trading trap, and it's something that you guys out there need to try to be aware of, to take breaks, step away from the computer, calm down, realize that you're going to be okay. Those kind of things are effective, and also realizing that losses shouldn't be recovered in a fast amount of time. You should be looking at a 3 to 6 month period to recover those losses if they take place. Hopefully they're not too substantial. If they are, then that loss recovery period will likely be a bit longer. This is a really important thing too, and it's a trap that I find a lot of traders coming into is if your losses are too substantial, then how can you actually recover? So if you're losing potentially 50% of your account, that is half of your account, and that kind of loss recovery could take a year to recover. So it's important to minimize those losses by finding ways of minimizing your exposure in the market, risking less with your strategy, and trying to cut back on your estimated monthly profit. Most traders are looking for over 10% per month in profit, and usually that is a recipe for disaster. The more profit that you look for or you're trying to achieve, the more likely you are to suffer larger losses. So in my trading, I have made it really important to look for a profit of 3 to maybe 5% every single month, and even that is on the border of being too much. I think that a really solid monthly profit is around 2 to 3% every single month, and that's a really quite achievable if your risk and your exposure and how you're using your strategies is really conservative. 3, having a plan and risk management, and also how can backtesting be effective. So this is kind of 3 parts in number 3 here. And so I find this to be the bulk of what you should be doing after you have losses. And that is having a plan, making a plan to recover those losses within a allotted amount of time, or a reasonable amount of time. And like I said in step 2 before this, you should be making sure that your losses are not too substantial, that they shouldn't be beyond 20 to 25%, because that is a little bit too difficult to recover from if it's more than that. And so that's why I cut my trades back with my Ranger at 19%, because I found that to be easier to recover. So making that plan, and that plan consists of risk management and backtesting. So there's quite a few people out there that don't find backtesting effective because the markets are constantly changing, and backtesting can be overfit to the previous history. There's a lot of problems with backtesting, but there's also a lot of effective ways it can be used, and it's finding strategies that really rely on effective patterns that have worked in the past and that also may work in the future. So finding a plan or making a plan will consist of finding profit, or like a reasonable conservative profit amount of 2 to maybe 5% every month, making sure that your losses are not too substantial, and that also is included in your plan. So moving forward, calculate your risk and the amount of profit that you're looking at. This is about capital preservation. So basically protecting your capital from substantial loss, and so anything over 25% is really going to hurt. And so you should always keep your trades and your risk under that, no matter what. Okay, so backtesting is something that I've focused on a lot, and I do as much backtesting within my strategy as possible so I can make a better plan and I can find the best risk management within that strategy moving forward. And does that include not having to take losses in the future? No, I very much plan on taking more losses in the future, and hopefully they're not very, they don't happen very often. But they definitely will take place, and it's important to make sure that they're not too substantial so the recovery process and the plan on that recovery process makes sense. So you should be looking at recovering your losses within a 3 to 6 month period, and I know that's substantial for you guys. I know you want to make them back in a couple weeks or even a month, but it's about being patient, and if you can really hone in on your emotions with recovering losses, I think that you'll be able to be more effective as a trader, whether that's using algorithms or using manual trading as well.